Hi, and good morning. You're listening to Vavel USA Radio. This is your host, Christian Hansen. You're listening to the Morning Rush. Today's show, we're going to cover, we're previewing the World Series Game 1 tonight at 7:30 p.m. Opening pitch. Royals set to take on the San Francisco Giants at Kauffman Stadium. It's going to be a thriller. I'm kind of concerned about where the Giants stand as of this moment. I mean, they haven't really seen much out of this Royal squad. They've played them one time in the regular season, and that was, during that interleague play. But that was early on in the year, and we really didn't know how good of a squad the Royals had. But let me tell you something, they're crazy good. And it's, as a Giants fan, I'm pretty concerned. I mean, right now, the two teams that truly believe that, they are part of a destiny, like I said, collide tonight in Kauffman Stadium. I mean, the Royals are nearly wiped out by Oakland in the wild card game. I believe they were down 7-3. They came back and won an extra innings. Outstanding game, and they've been hot since there. They're on an 8-0 record in the postseason. Excuse me. And the Royals are also making their first World Series appearance since 1985, and have done so with some old-fashioned baseball. Spectacular defense. They had that speed on the base pass, and that suffocating shutdown bullpen, and that's huge come playoff time. I mean, Kansas City's a team that throughout the regular season, I'm going to compare. I don't know if it's comparable, but for Blackhawks fans out there, I'm comparing the Royals to Brian Bickle. I know it's hard to compare a team to a player, but if you look at Bickle's performance during the regular season, it's not awful. He does his job, but he doesn't score at all. I believe during the regular season, when they won the Cup in 13, why I say 13 is because 10 he wasn't really part of the team, but in 13. If you look at his regular season production, it was not that good. But come playoff time, he was second on leading scorer list for his team, and in the top 5 for leading scorers in the playoffs. Then you saw how I'm connecting this to the Royals. If you look at the Royals, come regular season time, they were an average team. You head into those late months, end of July, August, end of September. Those last 3 months, they started making that push to solidify themselves a spot in the playoffs, and they barely got in there. But it's the players getting hot at the right time, and the team getting hot at the right time. For this case, being the Royals. But anyways, getting back to what I had to say, the Giants simply expect to be here tonight. If you look at where they've been the past 5 years, they've been in the World Series for the 3 out of the past 5 years. 2010, that was their first World Series win since 1954. And that was a team led by pretty much the same, I don't know if you want to say, same core group. They had Sandoval, they had Kane, they had Lincecum, but, they had Posey. They had a couple other players too, but, if you look at now, Kane and Lincecum have no impact in the playoffs at all. Lincecum, I believe, is still in the bullpen. Kane is injured. Pablo Sandoval and Posey are still playing. And then you move over to the 2012 World Series, and that squad changed too. They had Scudero, they had Pagan, they had Kane, they had Lincecum, they had Arias, they had Terrio. They had a whole bunch of other players on that team. And then, matter of fact, I believe they had Melky Cabrera too, but he couldn't play in the playoffs due to violating the league's PED policy, which is unfortunate. But anyway, they have some of the made staple pieces this year that they did in 10 and 12. So that's a good sign. But what's not a good sign is when you have those two hot pitchers in Kane and Lincecum not being able to perform and contribute to this playoffs this year, which really hurts. But anyways, if you look at how these teams match up, I mean, neither teams can be described as an offensive juggernaut, especially in the playoffs. I mean, the Giants are just hitting 244 with 313 on-base percentage, and they've only had 5 homers in the postseason. And their most recent being the walk-off 3-run shot by Ishikawa to give the Giants, their 3rd World Series appearance in the past 5 years. But, you got to rely on veteran plate appearances for guys who have been there and done that. I mean, if you look at a guy, like I said, catcher Buster Posey and right fielder Hunter Pence, who Pence came over in 2012, 2013, from the Phillies in a trade deadline accusation. I forget who the Giants gave up, but if you look at Pence and Sandoval, both who have an on-base percentage of 81.4% in the playoffs. And then there's left fielder Travis Ishikawa, who blasted, like I said, the walk-off homer in Game 5 of the NLCS that got the Giants to the World Series. But if you look at, catcher, you got Posey, who's 656 on-base percentage, and then Pence at 674. Neither of them have yet to really ignite. I don't know how to say it. Neither of them have ignited their play in the postseason and have really got their game rolling, which is not good. You're here in the World Series, Game 1 tonight at 7:30 at Kauffman Stadium, and you still haven't hit your stride, which is not good at all. And in the past World Series appearances for Posey and Pence, too, I believe he was part of the 12 squad, they were hot that whole October. And it's kind of alarming to know that these guys, haven't gotten their, their stuff together and got working. But, we'll have to see. But the Giants have gotten much better up the middle. For shortstop Crawford, Brandon Crawford, and second baseman Joe Panik and center fielder Gregor Blanco. But although Panik and Crawford each has delivered a homer, Giants first baseman Brandon Belt, who has 6 RBIs and his 78.1 on-base percentage in the playoffs. They're talented young hitter. They're like a talented young hitter a bit, but the Royals first baseman Eric Hosmer is quite special too. And the Royals are hitting 259 in the playoffs. Counter that with speed. They have 13 steals and a penchant for manufacturing runs, but for a team that was last in baseball in homers with 95 during the regular season, Kansas City, has also delivered some rare punch in the postseason. Eric Hosmer and third baseman Mike Moustakas, both former first-round draft picks, are shining in the playoffs this year. Hosmer is hitting 448 with a 1.314 on-base percentage, and Moustakas leads all of baseball with 4 postseason homers, and that's tied with St. Louis's Matt Carpenter. And then if you look at their top of the order, shortstop Acides Escobar has a 714 on-base percentage, and you got right fielder Nori Okoye and center fielder Lorenzo Cain. Cain also won the ALCS MVP, but he has an on-base percentage of 820. But they have done a decent job of table setting. If you look at their designated hitter, Billy Butler, right now he has 5 RBIs, and left fielder Alex Gordon with 9 RBIs. They haven't been smoking the ball, but, they have come through with clutch hits, which has been the reason to why, the Royals have had so much success. But tonight's game, a lot will be told after tonight's game, whether the Giants can, the experience of the Giants, of being in the World Series, and the veteran leadership on their team, can withstand the fire and motivation that this young Royals team has for getting here. Getting here to the World Series for the first time in 29 years. Last time it was in 85. So, we'll see if the Giants, veterans, and experience of being in the World Series can shut down that Royals team, but we'll see. My prediction, as a huge Giants fan though, I think the Royals are going to take it in 6. I know it hurts. I'm crying a little bit inside that I'm saying this, but they're a very, very, very good team, and you saw a lot change in their game ever since that wild card win over the A's. But time will tell, right? We're going to take a break. You've been listening to Vavel Sports Talk Radio. This is the Morning Rush. AT&T, the nation's fastest and now most reliable 4G LTE network. From the first drop to the last stop, stick with the taste that's just right for hockey night. From start to finish, Bud Light's superior drinkability means it's not too heavy, not too light, and the easy-to-drink taste won't fill you up when you're enjoying that one game that never slows down. Bud Light, the difference is drinkability. Real cheddar flavor at full strength. Nothing beats the bold flavor of Merck's, made of 100% real aged Wisconsin cheddar. Slap it on pretzels, burgers, chili, and more. Welcome back to Vavel USA Radio. This is the Morning Rush. This is your host, Christian Hansen. Before we get going with the Bulls vs. Cavaliers, recap from last night. You're listening to Vavel Sports Talk Radio because of my friends over at the Illinois Center for Broadcasting. Let's give a shout out to them. Have you ever thought about a career in broadcasting? The Illinois Center for Broadcasting can get you started in the exciting fields of television and radio. At ICB, instructors who currently work in the broadcasting industry will train you on the latest digital, audio, and video equipment. Once you complete the program, you'll have the full-time support of their placement department that will help you find your first job. Just think about it. You'll be working at a TV or radio station in less than a year. So pick up the phone and call ICB for more information today at 630-916-1700. That's 630-916-1700. The Illinois Center for Broadcasting, where broadcasting careers begin. Bulls vs. Cavaliers. LeBron came out before last night's game at Ohio State and said the Bulls are better than the Cavs. Well, we all know that he's lying to himself. Any team who has LeBron in the NBA, except the Bucks and the Pistons, are going to be good. But I mean, it was easily one of the best preseason games you'll ever see last night. The Cavs defeated the Bulls with a 107-98 win in what could be the Eastern Conference Final matchup this year, towards late June or mid-June. But, both teams treated the game very much like a regular season contest. I mean, with starters playing well into the fourth quarter. What really was exciting and encouraging and awesome to see was, while Chicago lost, they still had to leave, the game feeling encouraged by the performance of the face of their franchise, Derrick Rose. I mean, Rose is easily the best player on the floor last night. I mean, he collected 30 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and just over 24 minutes of play, which is something that was outstanding to see, knowing that Rose, if you look at his play when he was over in Spain for the FIBA World Cup, it was 2, 4, 12, 6. His point production wasn't there, and it kind of alarmed Bulls fans. But, I think this was a statement game that said, hey, I'm back, watch out, we're here, type of thing. But, he was unstoppable. He'd get to the basket. He showed that aggressiveness and drive that helped him win the MVP award in 2011. If you look at it for the Cavaliers, Irving and Verjao and LeBron all came away at big games. I mean, Irving's 28 points and 7 assists led the team, although most of his production came with Rose on the bench. For Irving, that's another big thing because, he twisted that ankle. He felt awkwardly on it during the preseason game, but it's good to see him back. Explosiveness. And if you look at Verjao too, he dropped 22 points. He had 8 rebounds and 2 blocks in his 23 minutes, while James had 18 points, 7 boards, and 6 assists. I mean, the Bulls were, granted, without starting guard Jimmy Butler, who unfortunately sprained his thumb against the Hornets, not Hornets, that's a new team. I'm making that stuff up right now. But against the Hornets the night before. But, if last night was any indication, these should be the best two teams in the East this season. Wow. The next meet again on Halloween night in Chicago, I will be there. I will also be freaking out because it's going to be one hell of a game. But with that win last night, the Cavaliers improved to 5-1. The next step in the preseason adventure per se is the Grizzlies in Memphis this Wednesday night. And the Bulls, they fought a 4-3, but it's preseason. That means nothing. The next stop will be the Minnesota Timberwolves on Friday. We'll see. What I saw out of Derrick Rose last night was, if it was scary good. Just listening to Stacey King call the game was exciting. Giving him those, he's too big, too fast, too strong, D Rose. You flash back and you think, wow. I remember hearing that in 2011 when they had that squad with Kurt Thomas, Kyle Korver, Roswell Butler, Gennaro Pargo, Omer Sheik, Ronnie Brewer, Keith Bogans. That team that took the Heat, or not took the Heat took the Bulls, but anyway you want to put it, that Bulls squad made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what I saw out of this team last night, which is scary, scary, scary good. And hopefully, time will tell, but hopefully, that's what we get out of this team. And the way I look at it is if Derek can play at least 70 games, the Bulls will be fine. I know Tibbs, I talked to him back in August. Tibbs said, we're going to try to keep him back. We're not going to double him up on games. But, if he plays 70 games, NBA better watch out. We're going to take a quick break. Once we get back, we're going to be listening to more Valve USA Radio on the Morning Rush. Thanks for the listeners who are joining me this morning. If you follow us on Twitter at Vavel _ or it's Vavel USA _ radio, give us a quick shout out. Send me a message if you'd like to come on the show. I'm open to having anyone on the show. I'd like to talk to people. So if you'd like to come on the show, just send me a message and we'll get things going. And don't forget to follow my personal account at C Hansen Sports. That's C Hansen with an E Sports. Don't forget to check out our website, Vavel.com. It's Vavel USA. Currently, right now, I'm the Chicago Bulls coordinating content manager. We're looking for Bulls writers. I'd love to have you join this great website. And if you do, just shoot me a message on Twitter, and I'll direct you to our editor-in-chief, Ben Anderson, and I'll help you get started. It's a great website. That's how it's really helped put my name out there, and I advise you all to try it. It's great. But like I said, we're going to a break right now. Here we go. Commercial break. Welcome back to the Morning Rush. This is Christian Hansen. I mean, from being from Chicago, the most embarrassing 5 letters that anyone could say is Bears. Yeah, that's right, Bears. Awful. 3 words of the same that describe this horrific team. It's disgusting. I mean, when Trestman came over, I'm not a Bears fan, but when Trestman came over, I said, wow, nice work. The Bears might have an opportunity to make something out of this. I mean, if you look at who Trestman worked with, he worked with Rich Gannon, he worked with several other outstanding players and shaped their careers, but I am not sold on this guy at all. I mean, he comes over from the Montreal Alouettes, CFL team, but after every loss, it's the same thing. It kind of gets. I'm tired of hearing it. Even as a 49ers fan, I'm tired of hearing it. Listening to him on the radio or on TV after the post-game press conference is always this. Yeah, I thought our guys, we practiced real well. We prepared great for this game, but we just couldn't get it done. And that all starts at me. It's all my fault. Well, if it's all your fault, why are you still coaching? That's his response for every darn loss. And same thing with Jay Cutler. He's about as stiff as a guy as it gets. If you guys don't know, he signed a deal with ESPN 1000 to do the Jay Cutler show that runs on Mondays or after every Bears game, win or lose. And when questions are, he gets questioned, he's like, that's just the nature of the game goes sometimes. Just lost, gotta work better. Okay, Jay, we're not stupid. That's been around forever. Say something meaningful. It's frustrating. But, if you look at their defense first, let's start with their defense. Granted, the Bears' defense a couple years ago was, they were good, but now they're terrible. And if you look at a guy like Lance Briggs, in my opinion, Lance Briggs is way overrated. Yeah, way overrated. And the reason why I say that is because ever since Brian Urlacher left to retire from the game, he's been exposed, Lance Briggs, because Urlacher, even though I thought, he wasn't the best, people raved about him too much, he really helped hide and cover the flaws that Lance Briggs had in his game. And then if you look at a guy like Chris Connie, he's awful. Absolutely awful. He can't play defense. He can't cover. He always gets burned. I can't even talk about the Bears defense. It's disgusting. But, there are several things that just shouldn't happen during a football game. If talking about that Sunday Bears versus Dolphins game, if you're a good team, and especially a good offensive team, and if that's your coaching and personnel focus, let's go over them one by one. Because the only really way to look at this game is the giant cluster bleep that it's turned out as. Let's start with the first downs. Getting 13 first downs by virtue of offensive performance does not get the job done. Losing total yardage battle, 393 to 224 doesn't help anything at all. When you're getting 4.4 yards per play and 3.7 on the ground per play, it's not good. Losing the turnover battle 3-0 also doesn't help anything. The Jay Cutler interception went straight to an open area field, which what I saw was possibly a communication on either himself or San Antonio Holmes, or simply bad throw. Holmes was open on the left side, but the 2 fumbles and a sack and reception by Dante Rosario also don't help. But all this, ties into the main idea that losing the time of possession battle by nearly of a 2-to-1 ratio, which is practically one thing if you're putting together quick scores. I mean, it's another thing when drives are ending due to turnovers, bad incompletions, drops, that inability to run the ball and check downs on third down before the first down marker. But it's terrible. Every time we look at the scoreboard at the end of a Bears game, the Bears have at least 20 points scored. The four times between 24 and 28. But a team shouldn't be able to hold the Bears to 14 like that. I mean, nearly effortlessly. But whatever. That also plays. You can also throw that blame on Mel Tucker and Mark Trestman. I mean, why the heck would anyone bring Mel Tucker over to any team? We brought him over from Jacksonville, okay? Jacksonville is the worst team in the NFL. Make sense? No. Don't know why the hell he would bring a guy like him over to a big market football team like the Chicago Bears. But, outside of one or two players, this is not a strong offensive team like we thought it was either. I mean, and really it's inexcusable that a team with B. Marsh, Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey, Matt Forte, Martellus Bennett, and Jay Cutler, sits here at week 7 with what amounts overall to a league average offense, sprinkled in with a nearly league average defense. That's being nice to say that, but I don't know how much of that is Cutler's execution or lack thereof. I mean, you saw when he came out against Atlanta 2 weeks ago now, ever since he got hit in the head in Atlanta that game, he was fired up. It kind of like woke him up a little bit. You saw the enthusiasm out of Jay. You saw him fist pumping. You saw him getting into it. You saw him screaming. You saw him getting into the game. Everything just changed. I personally don't know how much, like I said, is that Cutler's execution. But, Mark Trestman himself and, his sometimes interesting play calls, if you want to put it. Though, personally, I'm not as down as others on the deep play call to Jeffrey in the first quarter. I mean, but early in the game is not a bad time to take that kind of risk. But, a Dolphins defensive back was in Jeffrey's pocket pretty much all the game. But with that being said, there's enough blame to go around, especially for this one. I mean, it's ridiculous, this team. But, but right now, this is a team that with an improved defense still needs the offense to, execute play mistake-free or reduced mistake football and put up the points. But when defense allows 20 points or less, the Bears are 3-0. More than that, the Bears are 0-4 in the 3 of the last 4 games. But the Bears have now allowed 38, 31, and 27 points to the Packers, Panthers, and Dolphins, scoring a combined 55 points in those 3 games. And in those 3 games, the Bears' offenses look extremely out of sorts, especially on Sunday. They had no execution, no willingness to find or stick with something that works, protection continuing to slip. But, this Bears team has a lot of working around. But there's a couple things that I liked that I took note of. I mean, I think I noticed some of the same reaction about Shane McClellan and his return to the action on Sunday. I mean, his hitting the ground on Charles Clay's touchdown, got the ball rolling, and on Tannehill's 4th and 1 scramble for 30 yards when he slightly over pursues and is blocked out to create a gap for Tannehill. The Twitter reaction was a little, overly strong, but Houston got blocked out of the play. Nobody else was able to clean up the gap. Nobody got a hand on Tannehill for another 29 yards. The defense's failures are not all on McClellan. And while, he had a fairly rough return, nobody's kicking him off the team just yet. And if you look at Jeremiah Ratliff, he was a destructive force, snagging 3.5 sacks and leading the team in tackles. It was a strategic move, and I was really unsure on when it was first made, but he really did come to play. And another thing, Kadeem Carey's one snap on offense is a backwards pass that he had to scramble on top of for a loss of 10, only to further disappear in the game. But I'm going to start calling him Wisp. If that's the word I'm going to call him now, Wisp. But we'll see. Hopefully, Carey gets his stuff together. But I appreciate listening to the Morning Rush. This is Vavel USA Radio. This is Christian Hansen. Have a good day.